All right, let's get to the phone lines. Let's get to Mary in RVA, Mary line 1. Good morning.
Good morning, John. How are you today?
I am great, Mary. I'm fired up today.
I love your enthusiasm, and that's how I feel. I'm 83 years old, and I am just burning up with rage with these Democrats. What is going to be next? Are all of the people that voted for Trump having to wear a red T on their mask? Will we be refused to go into, access to restaurants, go to the stores to buy food, to get gas because we have this red T on our mask? And about the censorship, oh my gosh, Mark Warner lied and lied and lied for 3 years because he had this evidence. Never had squat.
Right? Never had shit. You're so right, Mary. He never had crap, and he went on TV, and he lied, and he lied, and he lied, and he lied.
What about Maxine Waters, who incited riots? If you see a Republican, go after him. And she is married to a man that stole millions of dollars from black depositors in a bank. Where's the censorship on her? And also, Eric and Dianne Feinstein, who had Chinese spies. Eric may or may not have slept with a spy. Where's his censorship? Why is he still on the intelligence? I mean, you can go down and down and down and down this list. And then the Republicans. We have to destroy the Republicans. And not only that, but the airlines refusing to let passengers, if they thought that they have a mega hat. Yet they went up and down the aisles wearing Black Lives Matter T-shirts. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Can you tell I'm angry?
Yeah, you should be angry, but you know what? The optimism here is they're going to overplay their hand. They shut us down temporarily. We're going to find new platforms. We're going to fight back, and now more than ever, we're going to stick together. Just like I've got one example, Mary Jane Donut Shop, 7:30. We're going to stick together. That's the key. Got to stick together.
And you keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to quit. We're never going to throw the towel in. We're never going to tuck tail. I mean, I heard reports, these are unconfirmed, just people texting me about a couple of people were at an airport somewhere trying to get on a plane. They had a MAGA hat on. They wouldn't let them on the plane. I don't know if that's, I get a lot of texts, but I just heard that from somebody. It might be true or not. But this is where we're headed now. But we're gonna stick together. I personally will never spend a dime with any company that is part of this censorship, that has anything to do with it. Walmart's at the top. I'll never spend a dime again, ever. John Fredericks Radio Network, stay with us. Let's get to the phone lines. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Today, no need for despair today. Today, we have a bright future ahead of us, and we're woke. That's why I'm so excited about what is going to happen. We're going to hold the fort. We're going to somehow get through 2 years. Let's go to Steve in Niagara Falls on line 1. Steve, you're live.
Good morning, John, and God bless you and your wife and Steve Bannon. You guys have been real warriors. Can't say enough for everything you've done.
Thank you.
But I'm going to despair. Let me despair. And I agree that you don't give up, and we don't give up. But for the last 4 years, and I'm not referring to you or anyone else, you guys have spoken the truth. I've heard this, I heard that. Nobody's going to jail for the crap they've pulled off. Nobody. They went to a red state, as I said last week, and you were there. You saw it. Georgia was stolen. I believe 80 million voted for Trump. It was stolen. They now are taking everything down. It's too late. If he doesn't get sworn in on the 20th, and it looks like that's probably going to happen, there is going to be an escalation of not only censorship, which we have seen this weekend, but violence against us. That is something that we need to address. You may have a few knuckleheads in the movement that do stupid things, but the majority of the MAGA movement, 99.9, just wants to live their life and pursue the American dream.
99.99.
999 across the board. Nobody wants this. But if it's brought to your door, you hear about Antifa, you hear about Black Lives Matter. There is a point to where they go, if you didn't put anybody in prison for any of this stuff the last 4 years for Burisma and a lot of the shenanigans that went on, we're clear. And they have a free shot now because they feel they can get away with it. Shopping at Walmart, I try to avoid it as well, and I'm going to continue to. This goes deeper. I believe, and a lot of the pundits agreed from our side, said if he doesn't get in, we're done. And I believe the Republic as we know it is done. How we survive, I say we stick together, obviously, and we don't give up the fight. But if he's not the bigger question I would like to have answered, maybe you can answer it, Steve Bannon can answer it. Why is he not listening to Giuliani and releasing information, declassifying information, doing what is going to strike back against these people? He's not doing it. I don't know what he's doing now, but it seems to me he has quit. I don't blame him. He's been beaten up. Nobody knows how it feels but him. He has been ripped apart. But I don't know how you're going to survive the next 2 years. I remember under Obama, we just hang on to 2010. 2010 came. Not one thing happened. I don't see anything changing. It gets worse. We have to accept the fact, we don't like it, that it's changed. This country is divided. And I am very fearful. And I have a young niece that's going to college in Columbus, Ohio. And her future, I don't know what to say to her. I apologize.
Steve, come on.
It's over.
Steve,
it's done.
What the hell are you talking about? Well, we got 70 million voters, dude. Okay?
80 million.
We got 80 million. What? Pick a number. It's 70 to 80 million voters. And we have speed and we have numbers. And we're going to stick together and we're going to figure this out. We're going to get our own platforms. We're not going to quit and throw the towel in. You got a niece. I got kids. Come on, man. Come on,
I
stop.
Don't see it.
Steve,
I don't. If the violence
respect
is
you,
brought
Steve.
to you, what are you going to do?
I respect you.
What is going to happen when they bring the violence to you, which they are now going to do because none of them have been held accountable?
Look, I agree with that. Mary at 6 a.m. said, Mark Warner got on TV every day for a year and a half and lied about Russia and nothing happened to him. I get that, and I don't know what the president is going to do. He should certainly declassify everything. Let's all look at it, transparency. But out of the ashes will rise the phoenix. This is not like Goldwater 64, okay, where the whole thing was in shambles, right? And conservatives were done. Reagan got elected in 16 years later. I've been around a long time, okay? They will overplay their hand. The backlash will be immense. Now, this time, we're sticking together. Don't despair, Steve. It's going to be fine. Tell your niece she's got a bright future ahead of her. Let's go to John in Pennsylvania. John, line 2, you're live. John, line 2, Pennsylvania, you're live.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, Johnny.
And I'm going to jump right in here. First of all, Parler is down. It's done.
Yep. For now.
Amazon,
it's done. For now. Look. John, we got to stop this doomsday stuff here, okay? It's not done. It's done for 2 weeks. They'll find another server. They'll find another platform. There will be a company that will make the investment to emerge in order to house them. This idea that, okay, Amazon now controls what? Your friggin' world? I mean, come on, guys. It's a setback. We realize what Amazon did. We realize what Twitter did. We realize what they did to Parler. We realize what Facebook is doing. New platforms will emerge. We got 75 million people. We have disposable income.
Wait.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I used the wrong word with a D. I meant down.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Holy cow. Anyway, so Steve Bannon the other day, laid this out clearly. There's 3 aspects of what what's happening to us. It's psychological warfare, it's informational warfare, and it's economic warfare. So you talk about we have 70 million loyal people, and we have speed, and we need to organize this, and we need to emphasize and do what we can do in the speed area. So as far as getting people reelected, that takes a lot of time and energy, and then you have to wait for the election. What the Trump voters, the reason they elected Donald Trump is because he was a fighter, and he was fighting for us. And the reason they wanted Donald Trump is because none of the previous politicians or any of the other politicians are fighting for us. So what the pent-up demand is in the 70 million people is they need to fight back, just like Lynn Wood's parlor page says, fight back. So the overwhelming desire, we just need to harness the energy effectively with the 70 million people, and we need to do it fast. So when you control your expenditures as to who you spend money for, you do that every day,
now we're
and
talking.
you do it multiple times a day.
Now we're talking.
So every time you make an expenditure, you're fighting back.
Now we're talking.
You're punching back.
Now,
so what we need.
Now you're right on it, John. Go ahead. Spot on.
So what you need to do is we need to get this list of companies, and we need to put it in the hands of the 70 million people.
Bingo.
So Raheem Kassam is working on a list, and his list is companies, but it's also political people. So I think he's working on kind of like a hybrid list, but we need to break this into two categories. We need to have a list of political people that have clearly showed their colors, since in the recent days, which is one of the few good things that's come out of this.
Right.
Now we clearly know who is who.
Right.
And you can deal with them politically. The same thing has happened with businesses. So they have clearly showed their colors.
Right.
So now you can make a clear list of political people and a clear list of economic people. And so the faster that we develop these lists and the faster that we organize the 70 million people and put those lists in the hands of the 70 million people, the faster they want to hit back.
We want to fight back. No, John, you're spot on. You know, we got to get a list of approved businesses that are going to fight for us. I mean, I was talking to Kara earlier. I've had an advertiser been with me, a while, bailed, got a few phone calls from people that not even in Virginia. Whatever, dude. Okay, whatever. I'll never do business with you again because that's what the left wants. This is their playbook. But we got a bigger, better playbook. That's why don't despair. What you are saying, John, you nailed it. Thank you. John Fredericks Radio Network. John nailed it from Pennsylvania. And we got to stick together, and we got to develop our own platforms, and we got to get a list. And if 70 million people stick together and spend money only on companies that don't buy into this censorship nonsense and want a strong and free America and are not part of the globalist cabal, we're going to be successful, right? But we got to stick together. We need your help. And even us, we're a little company fighting back. And you can help us out by donating to us so that we can continue to get the stars going, hire people, and create jobs and things of that nature. You go to johnfredericksradio.com and see they can't shut that down. That's my website. And if they pull it from server A, I'll go to server B. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and donate. Fight back that way. And stop giving money to the feckless Republican National Committee so they can go to Amelia Island and drink pina coladas, the pina colada Republicans, as Rome burns. Forget them until we take it over. We have been awakened. 888-480-JOHN. But you can help us out with a donation. We'd appreciate it. JohnFredericksRadio.com. Donate buttons there. Let's go to line 1, where we have Lauren in Florida. Lauren, line 1, you're live.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, Lauren.
I just wanted to make a point,
Yes.
and I do agree with everything that you just said. And I'm not fearful, but the one thing that gives me pause is in 2 years when we're primarying these people that have turned on us and do not support us and do not have our back, who we have put into office, and we primary them, if they still manage to win because they have the big money RNC behind them and they have the establishment behind them, we have to not vote for them. We can't. And I love you, but I don't want to hear you on the radio saying, hold your nose and vote for these people. We can't let the Democrats win. We have to not vote for them. We cannot keep electing people that abuse us constantly.
I agree with that.
It's like a battered woman syndrome. We
Yep.
cannot do it. We
I
have
agree
got
with
to
you.
stop at a certain point.
You're right. And you're never going to hear me say that. Again.
Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you so much.
You're right.
That's the only thing that I'm fearful for because, and I get it, we don't want the Democrats to win, but we cannot keep voting people in that hurt us.
Well,
constantly.
we have the numbers. We control the party on the ground. This is what these weasels don't get. Mitt Romney, Murkowski, whatever her name is. This is what Pat Toomey, this is what they don't get. We have the numbers. And we can win every single primary if we stick together. Every single one.
Right.
They have the money. We have the numbers. We have the ground game. And you do need to weaponize your vote. And that's why I kept ringing the bell in Georgia. I was there 3 days, and I knew after 3 days these candidates were in big trouble. The base wasn't unified. The party was divided. People were pissed off. And I kept telling everybody that would listen, if they don't back Trump, if they don't back him and they don't make a point of it, they're not going to get the base together and they're going to lose. And they did. 100,000.
At a certain point, though, it became not about Trump. It became about voter integrity.
Exactly.
It became about protecting our system.
Yep. And they wouldn't do it.
And they wouldn't do it. And it
that's-
looks like nobody in Washington wants to do it. Everybody wants to pile on about the insurrection.
So we're going to do it. You know what? But we're going to do it, okay? We're going to do it. And we're going to do it in the state assemblies, and the model is Georgia. They convene today. Top priority, and I'm going to be getting people on all week. I've got a reporter down there now, full-time, GeorgiaStarNews.com. Top priority is the election reform. They're going to get rid of mail-in ballots. They're going to get rid of all this crap. What is it? Drop boxes. All that's going away. The general assemblies are in charge of elections, and if they don't do it, we'll primary them.
Right.
So this is
and voter ID. I mean,
voter
this
ID
election has
exactly.
showed us one thing: what we need to do to secure our elections, because everything that could go wrong went wrong. So now they see everything that they need to check off the list. And when Democrats say, "Oh, you're being ridiculous," we can just point back to the 2020 election and say, "No, we're not.
Bingo.
This is exactly what went
Bingo.
wrong."
You got it.
So I hope they fight. I hope they fight for us.
Lauren, if they don't fight for us, they're out of a job. So, you know what? You bet your bottom dollar they're going to fight for us, right? Because we're awakened now. So, they are going to fight for us because the alternative is they're gone. All right, I got time for one more caller. Line 2 in this segment. Line 2, Chris in Massachusetts.
Godzilla, how you doing?
Good, Chris.
Good. Hey, so I got to agree with you. I'm just going to liken this. I'm trying to make a comparison here. Up in Connecticut, all the liberals said it was okay for if you had a son who was transgender to compete in the female sports arena until their daughters got beat by these same transgender kids. They said was okay. When it affected them, all hell broke loose. And I just don't understand these people. I have all my friends up here, and they this is great. I don't understand. This is going to boomerang on them so massive. It might take a little bit, but I don't understand. These people don't think ahead. Hey,
you got that right. All the people that are cheering the deplatforming of Amanda Chase here in Virginia, state senator running for governor, Donald Trump cheering that. They're going to cheer it, Chris, until it happens to them. And then they're going to say, what the hell's going on? But we're so far ahead of that. Our callers, our listeners, our movement, we endure. We are so far ahead of them now. It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm so fired up. John Fredericks Radio Network. Stay with us. I'll be right back. Steve Bannon, 8 o'clock. Corey Lewandowski, 8:30. Appreciate it. Let's get the phone lines. Let's get to line 4. Kara, line 4, where we have Pete in Richmond. Pete, you're live.
Hey, John. Always a pleasure to talk to America's number one patriot.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you.
You're welcome. How'd you enjoy my little anecdote the night before Christmas?
It's very good.
Not something you could publish, but
no, but it was good. I did laugh at it. Thank you. It was good.
Yeah.
Very creative.
That came right out of my head, man. Like I've been a veteran prose writer. But look, the reason I called is I wanted to talk to you about law, order, and justice. Unfortunately, here with the Biden administration, we can look forward to having unequally applied justice or no justice at all, which is sad. Those are the three ingredients that a free society needs: law, order, and justice. Now, coming to law and order, laws are going to be instituted that have no regard to state constitutions or the U.S. Constitution. It's just going to be what the social democrats say it is when they say it. And then, of course, order. There'll be some dissidence rising in the party when the socialists don't get free education and they don't get free health care and they don't get reparations payments and those sorts of things.
Oh yeah.
There'll be a lot of dissidence, and we need to welcome those into the new Republican Party.
Oh yeah.
But But order means that dissidence won't be tolerated.
Yep.
The leaders of these organizations like Antifa and BLA and Move On, they'll disappear. They'll be sacrificed in order to break up the dissidence of the organizations.
You know what,
the other
Pete?
thing is that
I think you're onto something. Go ahead.
Absolutely, that's the night of the long knives.
That's right.
I don't think we have a lot of listeners that may be. I know Bannon talks about that, but do they know history well enough to know what that means?
Well, you got to know your history. If you don't understand history, you can't understand the future.
You're doomed to repeat it.
That's right,
You're
Pete.
Doomed to repeat it. The great quote.
Thank
you.
you.
Look, I have one more thing to say. You texted me one time and asked for my email address, and I finally got it to you.
Okay.
But what I wanted to is give you some ideas if you'd email your email.
Okay,
so
you got it. Okay, I'll do that.
New Republican platform. New Republican platform. We're going to give them the voters an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, what's that?
With a new platform. So I'll spell it out to you, and maybe you can spread it around.
All right, I'll email it. Thank you, Pete in RVA.
Right.
Thank you, Pete in Richmond. Let's get to Jane in Pennsylvania, line 1. Jane, you're live.
Hi there, John. Thanks for all that you do for us. I want to say to the listeners that I believe the first thing we can all do is take note of the banks, Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, and American Express. I know that they came out against President Trump, and I believe that we need to just switch our banking institutions.
Love it.
And so that's what I'm doing.
Love it.
Many of us live in cities that have these franchises, but we also have local banks.
That's right.
Local banks, and if you deal with a local bank, you're more likely to improve the employment prospects in your neighborhoods.
That's right.
You'll have more people who are working in them, more people doing the back office operations.
Yep.
As long as MasterCard and Visa don't come out and say anything, we can go and get a local bank.
That's right.
Visa or MasterCard. Okay, that's number one.
Yep.
Number two, you're going to buy groceries. Most of what we buy every week are groceries.
Right.
forget about Walmart.
Right.
Forget about any big national chain.
Right.
I mean, go locally. There are regional chains. There are even competitors like Aldi's, which is a German store.
That's right.
You've got to strike back because the 75 or 80 million people who voted for Donald Trump, we deplorables, we work.
Now you're talking, Jane.
Disposable income.
Jane, see,
Okay.
now we're fighting back. I mean, and I love the bank idea. Just take your money out and go to a local bank. I don't deal with a big bank. We deal with Bayport Credit Union, based in Newport News, Virginia. Love my bank. Love the service. Love the people. They're fantastic, and they're local, and they put money back in the community. I'm not going to Bank of America or Wells Fargo. Screw them. I give them a dime. Right? You go find your local. You go find your local bank, your local credit union, your community bank, and if you're in Virginia, forget town bank. They're as bad as Wachovia or whatever the big names are. Go to your local banks. There's a bunch of them, and you know what? You get better service, and make a statement. Now you're talking. This is how you fight back, Jane.
Okay. Also, the other thing is, my kids will argue with me, well, they're products. Look, these small banks, they buy their products through the big banks. Like, if they don't have the sophisticated operations department to give you a wallet, they buy that service.
Yep.
It's just like going in. I mean, I don't have any control over that, but you improve the employment issues if you go local.
Jane, you're
and
right.
Also, Delta Airlines, you have all those miles on your American Express card. Well, I don't know what you can do with them, but cash them in and don't go to Delta because they just threw Trump supporters off their airplane. If that's
I'd heard that, Jane. Jane, let me just interrupt a second. Is that anecdotal or is that true? I heard that, but I didn't verify it. Is that accurate?
I read about it in the news online. Whether I read about it on some sort of
I didn't
site,
verify
I don't
that.
know.
If somebody can verify that, call in and let me know. And we're very reluctant to, perpetuate Facebook posts and fake news and things like that. But if that's true, we need to know.
I agree.
Jane, thank you. Jane, thank you. Great call. Jane says go to your local bank. Love it. Let's get to line 3. Steve in Prince George, Virginia. Steve, you're live.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good.
Thanks for everything you do. Wanted to share something. Just wanted to share something with you. A text that I received the other day. It's too long to forward to you, but just a couple of key points that people hit on. For the last 4 years, the Democrats have gone and scorched earth. They've salted the fields, and now they want to grow crops. The problem is 75+ million of us have memories longer than a hamster.
Damn right.
We remember the Women's March with the VV hats and all the day after the inauguration.
Yep.
4 years of attacks and impeachments.
Yep.
Not our president, the resistance. Maxine Waters telling the followers to harass us in restaurants. President's spokesperson being kicked out of a restaurant. Hundreds of Trump supporters physically attacked. Riots, looting. A so-called comedian, hold up a president's severed head. A play in Central Park paid with public funds showing the killing of President Trump.
Yep.
De Niro yelling F Trump at the Tonys, getting a standing ovation. Nancy Pelosi tearing up the State of the Union address. I mean, nonstop live fact-checking on our president and his supporters. The nonstop in-your-face lies and open cover-ups from the media. The president and his staff being spied on. 5 senators being shot on a ball field. Every so-called comedy show turned into nothing but a Trump hate fest. 95% negative coverage in the news. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
Yep.
A party that has been on the attack and out for blood for 4 years does not get a free pass.
Yep.
It's amazing how they seem to forget everything. Google Air Force veteran gets shot. You go through 9 pages of Google, CNN doesn't even cover the story.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Somebody got shot. Innocent person got shot the other day and killed.
Nothing.
And it's not even reported on CNN. Nothing at all.
Nothing. Zero.
Had it been a BLM or somebody like that, one of these other supporters, or a peaceful protester in the city of Richmond that's burning our cities down.
Yep.
Had they been shot, it would have been front page on every left-wing news outlet out there.
Yep.
It's just sad that we have to put up with all this crap.
Well, now we're fighting back.
Keep up the good work. We're not giving up.
Now we're fighting back. Now we got Jane from Pennsylvania said, don't go to the banks. Get a local bank. We had another caller earlier saying find your local grocery stores. Don't shop Walmart. Go to Ace Hardware. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean, we have speed in numbers, guys. Speed in numbers. And
what did we do before Twitter? What did we do before Facebook?
Yeah, we were fine.
Just fine. My
we were fine.
grandparents did fine for 90 years.
We're going to figure it out, and we're going to get our own platforms, right? That they can't shut down.
Exactly.
And Parler will be back. Parler will get their own server. Somebody will figure out another app, right? Or you can go to Parler.com. You know what? We survived before apps. We will figure this out together.
Exactly.
And you know what?
Thanks for
when
everything
their stock tanks. I mean, I lost 8,000 Twitter followers in 3 days. And my son flagged it last night at midnight. I was in bed. He said, Dad, what? You lost 8,000 Twitter followers. I'm like, this is a combination of Twitter just arbitrarily canceling people they don't like. Number one, my followers. And two, probably half of those canceled Twitter themselves. They're done.
Exactly.
Steve, thank you. You got to fight, man. And I tell you what, in Virginia, and I don't agree with a lot of what Amanda Chase says. I don't. And some of it is, not my cup of tea, but I will fight to the death to defend her right to say it. And the fact that Facebook shut down a gubernatorial candidate and a state senator going in this session with 150,000 followers should send a chill up everybody's spine. And those that are cheering it, you know what? You're moronic. Because today it's her, tomorrow it's you. Unbelievable. All right, thank you, Steve, in Prince George, Virginia. Let's get to our good friend, a very loyal 10-year listener, Josie, on line 2 from Richmond. Josie, give me some cheer.
Well, good morning to you. I like your motto that you talk about frequently that's on your this truth will set you free. But my button has a little bit more than that.
Okay.
It says the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. I thought that would be the best. This is the stage where we're at.
I love that.
I know it too. But I agree with everything that has been said here so far. I have another store that I do not set foot in, have not set foot in it for the last 3 months, and the owner of the store is in my neighborhood. He didn't have the courage to talk to me face to face, and I have just eliminated. I'm the oldest customer that this store has, this health store, and I am not going to it anymore. Have
Good
not
for
set
you.
foot in there. They have lost business. I am the oldest customer
Good
that
for
they
you.
have in that store.
Good for
and
you.
They have lost me, and it's hard enough to get through all the Black Lives Matter stuff, little pins they have for people to take. All the employees wear little Black Lives Matter.
Good for
Black
you.
Lives Matter, BLM stands for burn, loot, and murder, and I am not in favor of any of this stuff. And I am.
Josie
I've been
fired
at it
up
with them.
today. Josie, are you
I'm
coming
fired up
on?
too.
Are you coming to the Commonwealth Hotel on Monday, where we're in lobby day? We're on the air all day. You coming to that?
That
like you
sounds
did?
like a good idea. Yes.
You somehow you make your way there. We'll be in the penthouse overlooking it. You get there. I don't care how you get there. You get there.
I'll get
right?
there. Me and my cane and my car.
I know you're gonna come there with your cane. We'll get you help. We'll get you up the elevator.
Not threaten me because that cane can be a lethal weapon.
Josie, you've been listening to me for 10 years. You're very loyal.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
Josie in Richmond with her
and
cane.
my son is acquainted with Steve Bannon, and we all know each other.
Keep fighting, Josie. All right, I got one more call of this segment. Let's get to Vince in Atlanta, line 4. Vince, you're live.
Yes, I've been hearing your callers this morning and your rah-rah speech about, primarying, but we went through this back in 10, and we got candidates like Rubio.
We never went through it like this, Vince. It's never been like this. That was Tea Party, and that was just like, we've never, ever been through this. Censored, abused, mocked, thrown off airplanes. Now, I just saw somebody sent me a video. It's real. Thrown off airplanes. We've never been through this. We've never been through this. I told you before, our movement makes the Tea Party look like child's Tea Party play. It's got nothing to do with that. Okay? This is different, Vince. This is very different. And we're gonna primary these people. We're gonna beat them, and we're gonna beat them in Republican districts where then we can make a difference, Vince. I get where you're coming from, but I'm telling you, don't despair. This is very different. We're very motivated. In 2010, you had none of this going on. Censorship, deplatformed, all this nonsense, right? And I tell you what, Mark Warner, my senator, who I like him personally, but got on TV for a year lying to me about Russia collusion, whatever became of that lie? It just went away and he was not accountable? I mean, the double standard here, I'm done with it. I'm done with these people. But we're going to fight. We're going to keep fighting, Vince. We're going to keep fighting. Hang in there. Vince, thank you. Let's get to Lauren at Faith and Freedom, Virginia. Lauren, line 1, you're live.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Great. Never better, thank you.
Well, I have to tell you first that if the Godzilla of truth says he lost weight, I better believe it.
I did lose a little bit of weight. I feel better, Andro 400. So far, go to andro400.com, but I'm going to keep on it. We'll see what happens. But go ahead.
But listen, just a couple things. I made a couple notes. One, as far as boycotting, I absolutely agree with you. We need to leave the grocery stores, the banks, everywhere that is going against our great president. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I have a concern with is millennials aren't going to do that. I am one, and I will do it, but I do feel that a lot of conservative millennials, and there will be people that will not do it, and we have to concentrate on those voters as well. Just an observation there. As far as the First Amendment, I absolutely agree with you. Everyone has the right, the freedom to say what they would like to say. I might not agree with you, but you have the right to say it. And the minute we start canceling conservatives, after they go through conservatives, they're going to go for our religious liberties and go to our religious leaders. And after they do them, they're going to go to the left. And if you're not left enough, that's who's going to be canceled. So we have started down the slippery slope. Go ahead, John. Sorry. I feel like you were going to say something.
Nope. I agree with you.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, and then as far as cancel culture, I know you have, I don't remember the donut shop's name, but I know you have her coming up. And what I want to say about it, that is, I used to work for a sitting state senator. And when we would go in to an election year, we would have small businesses put up 4x8 in their yard of their business. But then the Democrats would call in, and there would be so many of them that they felt so much like their business was threatened that they would then take down our signs. So I 100% agree with the First Amendment, but maybe we should start calling the businesses that put in
Bingo.
The signs of the other party.
Yep, you got that right. Look, we need to fight back. We got 70 million voters. I get what you're saying about the millennials. We're certainly not counting on them as part of this. But they can do what they want. But, take 5 million out from 75. You got 70 million voters. And so we need to fight back and stick together. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Anybody that is going to be part of the cancel culture, censor us, mock us, do whatever, I'm not giving them a dime. And if they want to be intimidated by the left, then they don't deserve our business. And that's fine. We can have a parallel economy. We spend on our people. They spend on their people. Guess what? We have disposable income. We work. These are working people. And we're done with them. That's why we're awakened now. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. I do appreciate that, Lauren. Thank you. Line 1, Don in Tennessee. Don, you're live. Don, line one, you're live. Tennessee.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me, John?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. John, first of all, I want to say thank you for all you're doing out there. I got turned on to you just through Steve Bannon here maybe about 3-4 months ago. I've just started listening to Steve, and, of course, I started listening to you. I relocated here to Tennessee from upstate New York, mainly because of all the draconian laws there in New York State. I just wanted to say I really appreciate that lady with the donut shop, her courage, and the fact that we cannot give in to these kind of people. We cannot live in fear. We have to fight back, and I think it was just a fantastic story. I'm going to order me some donuts. I'm here in Tennessee, and I'll just, like you said, let her send them somewhere else. But we have to stick together. I understand the other callers. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to be negative too and, feel depressed and, what are we going to do? But, that's not going to fix anything. So I'm going to do my part, whatever it takes. Like I said, I appreciate all you're doing. It's just absolutely disgusting how they've treated our president, how they've treated us. I mean, it's beyond words. Of course, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I also agree, John, that we need that list of politicians sooner than later. We need that list of businesses that have not stood up, for our movement. The sooner the better, and maybe even a little description of what they've done or not done. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. And then last but not least, a big concern that I have right now, like a lot of our people have, and I realize we got to kind of hang in there at least for 2 years till we can fix some of the stuff and work in between. But my question is, Second Amendment, that really, really concerns me. That's one of the main reasons I relocated here to Tennessee, because in New York State, I mean, you can't even have a BB gun to protect yourself and your family. How are we going to fight back with that, being that we don't have any numbers in the Senate? So that's kind of my question and my comments.
Well, Don, that's a good one. I mean, right now they can try to ban guns. I mean, that's what they're going to try to do is take guns out of your hands, not sell them. They're going to restrict everything under the sun. And there's as long as Joe Manchin doesn't break the filibuster in the Senate, that's your stopgap. If he goes along with them, if Manchin goes along with them and breaks the filibuster, and he said he wasn't going to do it. He said when he ran for re-election in, I guess it was 2018, he said he wouldn't do it. I got to hopefully he will stick by his word. If he doesn't jump ship and cave to the pressure that he's going to be under. Look, he's from West Virginia. That went 75% for Trump. They'll never vote for him again. He'll never get elected dog catcher again. So
absolutely,
so we'll see what happens. But I'm optimistic that the filibuster is not going to get broken. We're not going to pack the court. We're not going to get states ratified. We're not going to do that. And when 2 years comes, we're going to sweep a lot of these liberals out of power, and we're going to take back the House and the House and the Senate, and then that's going to limit what Biden-Harris can do. We got to get through 2 years. In the meantime, we have to stick together.
No, absolutely. And like I said, not to beat a dead horse now, but it's an absolute travesty what happened in Georgia, and everything you said happened.
Yep.
The fact that they didn't stand up for Trump, and yep. I have family actually in Georgia. And I did what I could with a few people I knew there, but it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. But like I said, we have to fight. What else are we going to do? I mean, it's either fight or quit or give up. And we can't do that. We're lost for sure. So, John, I know you've covered this, but on a practical basis, what can there was a lady on there a couple of days ago, and I wish you would have posted her information. Somebody in Arizona that was talking about how to get involved in your local. I've never been involved in government, never been political in my life. I've been a pastor for many years. I'm retired now, but I'm all in now. I want to do something. I have verbal skills. I have written skills.
Where are you?
I know a lot of people.
What city are you in?
I'm here. I'm right between Nashville and Knoxville. I'm in a little town called Crossville, Tennessee.
So you go to you look up the Crossville Republican Party. You look up what the county is. You join that. You work from within. We take the party over from within. I mean, that's what you have to do. They're in control of it, but they just went to Amelia Island while Rome was burning,
Right.
We had pina coladas. I mean, this is not these people aren't prepared for what we've got coming for them. They're not prepared. They will cave like a cheap suit in the rain. So I'm not worried about it. I'm confident.
Understand. Yeah, and listen, if you can go back, I don't know if it's that lady had something about Arizona. She was going to some precinct thing. I don't know. It was pretty good information, but I didn't quite catch it.
Just join. It's easy. Join your local
party.
Republican affiliate and change it from within. And you got to go to the meetings, and you have to put up with the crap they do.
Right.
But that's the only way you get involved. And then you can run for their state central. There's all kinds of things that we can do. It's got to be at the local level, and we've got to do it. You know, the conservatives in the movement often operate at the higher level. They want the federal Congress, this, that. You got to get down in the grassroots. Look,
so even, John, if you're in an area that's very conservative, see where I am, I mean,
even better. Even better.
Mm-hmm.
That's even better. That's the party that you want to have the influence in because they're making decisions because it's Republican. That's the absolute area you want to get involved in. So your representation is not going to sell you out.
Gotcha.
Bingo, Don. Thank you for the call.
Thank you, John.
You got
Appreciate all you're doing.
That's why I'm here. Let's go to line 4. Chief Joe in Williamsburg, Virginia. Chief Joe,
morning.
you're live.
Good morning. It is pleasant to see that people are trying to sitting back and not throwing in the towel. We still got a lot of fight left in us. There's going to be a dark couple of years, but like you said, if we can hold the line, we may be able to push forward. The simple fact of the matter is, though, is that I want to redress what happened on the 6th of January one more time, John, because people are putting this in a very wrong perspective. What happened during the day, in my humble opinion, the so-called rioting, is a far, far lesser crime to the Constitution and the rule of law and the Republic than what happened later on that night as headed by soon-to-be former Vice President Pence. He had a obligation, and everybody's sitting here going, oh, well, he followed the Constitution, the 12th Amendment, the 3 U.S. Code. Yes, if everybody would bother to read 3 U.S. Code 5, he'll find that the law says you could not count those electors. President Trump was not asking him to overthrow it. He was asking him to send it back to the duly elected people's houses of the 6 states that were involved. His failure to do so violated his oath of office based on the constitutional premise of that he should see to it the laws are faithfully executed. And in Article 4, Section 1, that every state shall have a Republican form of government. While there are nuances about Republican government, that no one is going to argue that free and fair elections and transparent, along with following the rule of law, are not two bedrock principles in order to maintain a republic. Those 6 states that have thwarted the will of the entire people of this country through their election fraud and through violating the Constitution and not following the law set forth by their people through their legislatures was a more egregious deprivation and desecration of law and the republic than any fist that was thrown or any window that was broken in the People's Temple. And that offends me too. Anyone that government is not God. That building is a symbol of freedom, yes, but it is not a temple. It is not a place, and neither are any of those people priests or high priestesses of some form of government God. God is not government, people. It is wrong. Let us turn around. Let us spin this around. Let us take out the people, and I mean take them out through the ballot box, okay, in this day and age. Let us take out the Republicans that we can control. We're never going to get rid of the libs, but we can definitely take care and definitely put Republicans in there who will represent the constitutional rule of law and the Republic.
There you have it, Joe. Chief Joe has solved it in 3.5 minutes. Right there. Right? Join your local committee, take a stand, and never vote again in a primary or a nomination contest for those that are not going to uphold the Constitution and are going to reject our movement, which is getting away from a globalist agenda, bringing higher wages to people, keeping our jobs in America. Simple, right? That's all you have to do. We have the numbers. Yes, they have the money and the power. That's what Dr. Joe said. I get it. They got Soros. They got the billionaires. They got the tech platforms. But we got speed and we got numbers. And let's use it to our advantage. I won basketball game after basketball game after basketball game in my coaching career without the best athletes. But I recruited for speed and intelligence. That's how you win games. You can overcome a lot with that. Thank you, Chief Joe. Let's get to Frank in Fairfax, line 3. Frank, you're live.
Good morning. How
Good morning.
are you?
Fairfax, yes, sir.
I'm still going to wear this with a badge of honor. I was the last question of 2020, so anyway, I want to talk about fighting and how we do it, because there was a gentleman a couple callers ago that you told him that you're done with his giving up.
Just let me clarify that. As soon as anything is mentioned on my show that has anything to do with what he said, violence, etc., you're out. Okay, done. Right?
I got you.
Right. Go ahead.
I got you.
Go ahead.
And I'm just talking about the fact that he's.
Yeah, go ahead.
What we can do is fight these people. We have a national get rid of Prime Day. I mean, we have how many deplorables have Prime accounts with Amazon? These are the things that we need to do on a nationwide scale. These are the things that we can fight back with.
Mm-hmm.
You have Steve Bannon, who has connections to Wall Street, who can start telling people that this is what's going to happen. You could get class action lawsuits because of it. If any lawyer is willing to go up against, Amazon and start suing them for their actions of getting rid of, conservative voices. There's a lot of things that we can do. But I'm willing to give up Prime. I'm sure there's other people who are willing to give up Prime. How about if they lose 10 million accounts on Inauguration Day? What does that do to their stock price? That hurts them in the wallet. I mean, Bezos has a lot of money, but he has a lot of money in stock. If he loses $10-15 billion in a day, I'm sure that's not going to make him happy. And that gets rid of some of the funding for some of these actions that they're doing. So these are the ways that we can fight. And, John, you're one flick away from being off of Apple Podcast or Google. I mean, you're not that. I mean, you're a radio station, and I'm on my phone listening to you. So these are the things that we need to do to fight back to say that we're not going to take this anymore. I mean, I'm not giving up. I'm at this point very pissed at what happened this week. I'm pissed at the whole thing. But these are the things that we need to get nationally known so we can fight back. And I don't know how else we can do it.
Well, think about what Frank in Fairfaxamania, Virginia, just said. I love saying that, Fairfaxamania. Just think about what Frank just said. If 10 million people in the next week canceled Amazon Prime, you think that would get their attention? Or 20 million? Or 30 million? That's what we ought to do now. Anybody that's on this phone, yes, it's convenient, yeah, this, that, but you know what? Look what they just did to this, to Parler. I mean, they threw them off their server. What did Parler do? They're a business trying to have a competition. So cancel it. I'm done with that. I'll never do Amazon again. I'll never do Amazon. I'll never do Walmart. I'm 62. I'll be 63 in March. I'm done. And you know what? I just might be one person, or I might be one of millions. No one knows.
Right, but John, my point is that we have, I don't know for how long, but we have the ability to connect at this point,
right,
to kind of get this stuff done. I'm just one person talking to you, and I'm appreciative that I can get on the phone with you.
Yep.
But you need to. I think at this point, I've passed you the torch, the mantle, the baton. I mean, I'm just one guy. I can only call 20 of my friends and tell them to get off. But that's only 20. I mean, so
it starts
I appreciate
20 is 200 is 2,000. It's 200,000 is 2 million. I mean, you got to start. Frank in Fairfax, thank you. I got time for one more caller this segment. Let's get
appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. Let's get to Jade in Oklahoma, line 2. Jade, you're live. Line 2. You're live, Jade. All right, can't find Jade. Let's get to Tan in North Carolina, line 1. Tan, you're live.
Hey, this is Tan.
Go ahead, Tan. You're live.
Okay. I just want to thank you, John, for everything that you're doing, and I appreciate it. The one caller, I disagree. There are people going to come up and leave. This movement started years and years ago, and it started rising up, but we needed somebody to show us that government isn't the answer, that somebody can fight for us. and so many people were disenfranchised and thought, well, I can never make a difference. And then Donald Trump came along and showed that, yeah, you can fight. And I think now more people are seeing that I can make a difference, but it ain't going to be easy. It's not going to be without sacrifice, but we've got to stand our ground, and we've got to keep fighting if this country is worth fighting for.
Tan, you summed it up better than I could have ever done. Tan in North Carolina. Bob in Blue Ridge, Georgia, line 2. Bob, you're live.
Hey, John, how you doing today?
Good, great.
I'm sorry I've been MIA. I've been out of town. My mama passed away. That's
sorry.
why I've been
I'm sorry,
calling
Bob.
in. So
I'm
I wasn't even going to call in today until I heard that idiot, Corey Lewandowski, on your show again. I knew he was an idiot the first time I listened to him. He still don't get it, does he?
Well, that's not very nice, Bob. I mean, Corey's been there in this movement from the beginning. I mean, you can disagree with his view without calling him names.
This is once again our leadership being completely out of touch with the base.
How are they out of touch?
The same thing with the senatorial Kelly Loeffler, that ink hadn't even dried on the boat yet before she turned against Trump.
That's right.
We knew.
Yes, you're right.
These guys are clowns.
That's true.
Ask the Devenator of Politique how his plan worked out for us down here in Georgia. As the day he said we were stupid and lazy, I knew that that their part of the movement was over. Corey Lewandowski and these other political advisors and clowns that have never had a speck of dirt under their fingernail.
That's not true. Look, I'm going to defend Corey. That's not true. I mean, Corey came from nothing, hard scrabble, was a state policeman, raised a family on $25,000. I mean, come on, Bob. Okay, we can disagree. Corey's a good guy. You might not agree with his approach, but I know him like a brother. I've stayed at his home. He gave me a studio he helped me out when I first went to Washington. Gave me a studio in his main foyer. So come on, Bob. I mean, that's I get your frustration. Corey's not the issue. Trust me, Bob. He's not. Now, you might not agree with his prescription, okay, but he's not the issue. Corey's been with us from the beginning, right? A lot of people didn't see what was going on in Georgia. I was there for 8 weeks. I did 28 cities total. I get it because I was there, Bob. And so I get what you're saying, but we got to stick together. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater, Bob, okay? Love you, man. Let's get to Rich in Williamsburg on line 3. Rich, you're live.
Hi, thank you. Excellent program, John. Been listening for over 4 years. I love it. Thank you. I got 2 things that I'm doing personally and politically to what I can do in this time. And I loved Corey Lewandowski's comments. I do have a question about those, though. But the first thing I'm doing is I'm notifying all the companies that I've done business with in those 6 contested states that I can no longer support their business. I'm not going to allow my purchase dollars to go to the funding of those corrupt state governments. And some of these businesses are my favorites, but they have to know that it's had an impact on states outside their borders.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2, I'm removing ourselves from Amazon Prime also, as other callers have suggested. I'm also looking for any businesses that support left-wing agendas, and I'm removing ourselves from them. I'm making a list, and I'm sharing it with what we've come up with family and friends. And I'm resisting wearing a mask. And I'm seeking other people's practices, how they're nonviolently protesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the beginning of a personal note. On the political side, we've been writing to our government leadership on the city, the county, the state, and the federal, and politically voicing our discontent. And then we have not yet done this. We've been waiting for January 20th, but I think we can do it now. But we're going to change our political allegiance, our affiliation. And I have 2 options. One, we can go independent so that both parties will be wooing our vote and we'll be able to sit into their meetings and have a voice. that they wouldn't have heard otherwise. Or number two, we can put on the enemy's uniform and go become Democratic, and we can have a voice in their organization, and we can actually steer a primary.
Yeah, but you never get through one of their meetings, Richard, without pulling your own teeth out. But could you imagine having to sit through their meetings? Oh my goodness! But look, not a bad idea. But I do hear what you're saying. I got to get to a minute, Richard. The first time you go to one of their meetings and sit there for 3 hours, call back in, tell me how it went.
That'd be all right. Okay, here's my question for Corey. Corey, I understand primaries coming for that one Senate seat. And do you realize, Corey, that they're still going to use the same machines and the same techniques? For the next 2 years, we will have nothing.
That's wrong. No, Richard. No. The General Assemblies are convening. Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, these are controlled by Republican General Assemblies. Only General Assemblies, only state legislatures can change the election law. And Georgia's the poster child right now. They've got a significant election reform agenda. Let's see if they do it. If they do it and get rid of these mail-in ballots, get rid of the machine stuff so that we have hand ballots, stop election season, make it election day. We'll see what they do. They have the power to do it. So that's the answer. Look, I've got the blueprint here, but I understand, Richard, your frustration. I really do. All right, thank you.